I think it's connecting. And it didn't give me any problem this time. Hi guys. I'm the cat toy lady. Okay. So while I am getting everything going, let me get my Instagram also going. Make this stuff easy on me. So I have my camera stacked. If I'm looking up or looking down, pay no attention. Yay. But hi, I'm the cat toy lady. If you didn't know that, I have a channel on YouTube where every week I come out with a new cat toy. And today is 1 year since launching my last video. Well, not my last, my first video. I actually was just working on a video, which the stuff is behind me for it. And let's see. Just checking messages. You know, that type of thing. Alrighty. So how do I have never gone live on Instagram, by the way. This is a new process. And the double camera. It's all a new process for me, so don't mind. But alright, so I wanted to talk to everyone a little bit just about my journey this year. It's been a quick year. That whole world chaos thing going on gave me a lot of extra time. That whole no job thing, which unfortunately I still don't have. I happen to have a job that I only work on the days that are considered busy, and those are typically the days that the people from China, Japan, Korea, and Brazil come into town, all of which is a no-fly right now. So yeah, they don't need me. So that stinks, but it's given me a lot of time to think about cat toys, developing, helping my husband with his channel. If you don't know, if you haven't watched one of my lives before, my husband is Exploring with the Nug on YouTube. He does crazy diving in places that people do not normally go. You know, no one wants to dive where they have 6 inches of visibility, and he finds weird stuff in the river. I mean, just everything from voodoo jars to stolen purses, 40 something guns so far this past year. You know, enough about him. Let me see here if I can get my comments going with everyone. It is not letting me see my comments on YouTube. I'm sorry, guys. So, if you're commenting, or if you're not, I don't know. But I just wanted to thank everyone for this past year. I am 19 subscribers. Hello, if you want to subscribe. I am 19 subscribers away from hitting my 1,000 subscribers. And maybe if I'm lucky, I'll hit it today, which makes I'll hit 1,000 subscribers on my 1 year. Which I think would be awesome. If not, the day after is just fine too, but you know. I like dates that line up. You know, like I had my daughter on my birthday. Happy birthday to me when I had her. My son I had on Veterans Day. You know, just things like that. It's how we roll in my family. We like dates to line up. So maybe if I'm lucky, you all can help me spread the word, get me to 1,000 today, okay? And what else is going on? Well, besides that, you can hear I had neighbors that drive really noisy cars. That one wasn't too bad. That was one of the quieter ones, if you heard it. Well, I wanted to just talk to you about some of the comments I've been getting. Someone had asked me recently why I started this channel. Yes, it's to help cats, but it's kind of more than that. I am a registered vet tech. I did work at a cat-only clinic. It is my specialty. I worked with a vet who put a thought in my head that just really clicked, that cats are basically in jail. Oh look, exploring with the nug showed up, my hubby. I can see it on Instagram. Go follow him too. But the thought that cats are in jail, they're stuck in four walls, they don't get to go out and hunt, they're getting bored. Cats really shouldn't be sleeping 23 hours out of the day. That's not good for anything but a sloth, a koala, you know, those type of animals. Not a cat, not a hunter, not something that needs its brain. So making toys that get cats up and moving and hunting is a big thing to me, and especially after I read a study on kitty cats getting like a dementia and Alzheimer's. And I had the connect the dots moment of realizing that maybe, you know, it's same as humans. If you're not using your brain, dementia can come on a lot quicker. That's why they say to do crossword puzzles and do things that use your fingers, like knitting and sewing, because it keeps all the little different parts active in your brain. Even things like cooking are supposed to be good for Alzheimer's, I just read, because it uses your olfactory senses, that sense of smell, and that can trigger different parts in the brain. Same as using catnip and cat grasses and lemon balm and lemongrass, silver vine, all the different types of cat attractants, honeysuckle, what else is there, valerian root. There's so many different cat attractants out there. Definitely look into them. But they're things that wake up the brain. And that's really why I'm doing this channel. I want to find a way to stop that kitty dementia. It shouldn't be happening. We didn't really see it, you know, like back in the early 90s. God. When I may have started working in the vet field. Okay, I take that back. It wasn't early, it was mid-90s, but you know. But even back then, we didn't see dementia the way we do now in clinics. It's very sad to see a cat or a dog that just has their head in the corner or is meowing at something that's not there, and they do it a lot. And they start kind of staring into the distance. Not necessarily that seeing ghosts thing that cats can do. But, you know, they're just checking out mentally. They can come back and forth just like a human with Alzheimer's. But cats just, it shouldn't be happening. And playing and doing things like foraging with your cat, where you hide food around the house for them to find, that's really important. It keeps their brain active. So that's what my channel is about. I want to help keep away kitty dementia. And, you know, we all get bored with the same thing every single day. So making new toys, things that you can cycle through, making new cat towers. If you're making a cat tower or a cat item of sorts out of something that costs $2 or $3, you can easily throw it away, put it away, and make something new. And then it's, you know, a whole brand new world for them to explore. And it just keeps life a little bit more interesting. And really, that's what we all want for ourselves and for our kitties. So, yeah, that is why I do what I do. And that is why I've hit 1 year on YouTube. And I guess Facebook and Instagram and whatever. But really, my videos I initially made for YouTube. That's why this weird little thing that's going on here. I have YouTube filmed sideways, Instagram up and down. It's throwing me off here. What can I say? But I did want to talk to you guys about some of the funny comments that I get. I guess it has been highly agreed upon now on my channel that I remind people of Kitty from that 70s show. I see it myself, I have to admit. It's a little sad to me that this is sober. She's never sober. And this is me sober, and I'm still a little quirky. I'm special. I know it. She is one of my favorite characters on that show, and I've seen every episode. So I really do take that as a compliment, because who wants to be serious all the time? Who wants to act their age? And yeah, I could probably enjoy drinking as much as she does, but I can't function that way at all. It would be too sad. And yeah, some of the other comments I'm getting, I have to say, I love seeing the word brilliant. It just flatters me, just deep down. So thank you to the multiple people that use that word. I love it. It touches me. It really does. And just, I love feedback. Luckily, I'm not getting as much negative, which I have to say I do appreciate. Sometimes I have to keep the thoughts to myself and I don't write back, so forgive me if I don't, if you write a snide comment. I'm trying to take the upper trail, and not tell you what I really think, especially when you tell me to remove the lock from my kitty cat catio. That's just on a kitty cat door. Sometimes you need to lock cat doors, like when it's really windy and the rain is blowing it in. I need to be able to lock it. And it's a stiff lock. My cat is not going to accidentally be locked outside. They called it, I think, a torture device. But I like locks, like on bathrooms, my bedroom, stuff like that. Locks are needed. I'm not worried about my cat being outside and triggering the lock to lock themselves out. The worst thing that would happen is my kids might do that, but yeah, I have a 5-year-old. I admit he's done it once, but the cats let us know. Like, we're not stupid. Oh, I just got a question of, can I make DIY foraging toys? I actually have one of my early videos. I use little kid water toys, like bathtub toys, squirty toys, and cut the bottom out of them in different shapes and sizes. And I talk about the easiness level. So there's like 3 different levels of intensity of it. So that's one way. Kid toys are always a good way to go, because if it's certified for an infant, it's going to be safe for your cat. It has to have a certain chemical rating. It can't be toxic for them to be able to chew on, and it has to be large, and it can't have any parts that easily fall off, all of which are great for your cat. So changing kid toys into cat toys is kind of a good way to go. But I can do more foraging toys. There are some good ones to buy. Dr. Phoebe's, should you want to buy. I am a DIYer, but I do like Dr. Phoebe. I've met her. I may not agree that I like the string that hangs off of hers, but the rest of her toy is great. And she has a new wet food dish. But these are all things that, should you want to, and especially if you want to hide multiple foraging toys everywhere, you don't want to spend an arm and a leg to be able to stock your whole house in foraging toys. So I can definitely work on coming up with more of them. I love suggestions. I have to say that if you want to see something, tell me. So foraging toys will be something that you'll be seeing soon. I do have a little stock now of videos, just a couple. The video that I was going to be coming out with for this coming weekend, I filmed it and then saw on the Kitten Lady's channel that she was having issues with litter boxes. She has the cutest little kitten named James that has little nubby back legs, very adorable with his big old belly. And she was trying to find a litter box for him. She can't have a lip for him to fall into. So my video coming out this week, I'm going to go ahead and kind of give you a sneak peek of it. I made, oh, maybe you can't see on Instagram. I made a handicap accessible litter box. It has a ramp and a tray in the middle. Oh, has little things that support the middle. But you can put a pee pad underneath, and then on top, crystal litter or like the pellet litter. And it has holes in the mat, that way pee can fall through and the poop stays on top. And especially for the handicapped kitties, you really want to get that pee away from them quickly. So the holes in here will drain it away. And it has a good little ramp that doesn't have any edges that they can get caught on. Only on the way down is there a little ripple, and that's okay on the down way. But this gives them a grip to be able to walk up too. So it's nice and flush, no sharp edges, and it's a good DIY for handicapped kitties. So my how-to video will be coming out probably Friday, if not Saturday. Since I just finished filming it, I literally smell like plastic now because you have to melt it to make the little holes. I smell lovely, I'm sure. My husband will tell me when he gets home. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing today. So I do like suggestions. I do like coming up with solving problems for other people. Can I make different versions of the cat trees made from dollar store and craft store items with lots of levels? I actually have plans already for 3 different styles. I try not to release the same type of toy back to back, so I'm trying to space. So the next toy after this guy will be a nice simple toy, a small one for the cats to play with by themselves or with you, because we need something besides just kitty cat furniture, even though I do like building it. But yes, dollar store material, and each time I build something, I learn from my mistakes on making it. Yes, it works when I show you, but in my head I'm thinking, ooh, I could change this about it, I could change that. I could make the columns a little bit of a different design for the cat trees. If you saw my kitty cat spaceship, that bubble, I've figured out how to be able to use that bowl for some of the more modern cat trees that you're actually seeing on the market. I can reproduce that for a handful of dollars versus the $100 and something they are. What else do we have? Oh, thank you for loving my ideas. I do too. I'm one of those weird people that I like to build to fix problems. So, you know, making these cat toys just, it's filled this niche in me that I didn't know was really missing. Granted, I worked for a cat toy company, but for that, you're always looking for toys that you can make that are posh looking, you know, very refined, just, you know, something like a machine made it, even though it may be handmade, because the company I used to use a lot of stay-at-home moms and stuff like that to make their toys. So it was home assembly items. But it was always trying to find that next item that was going to have that clean, refined look, yet still be really inexpensive to make so we could make a profit. Because you don't realize a lot of toys that are out there, the toy itself may be 20-30 cents to make. But to make a true profit after packaging, after having to, you know, maintain the website, having to do advertising, all these different little odds and ends, electricity to be able to power certain things, you name it, that 20-30, we'll say 30 cents for a toy, you end up having to sell for minimum of $3, just to be able to start making a profit. So it's, you know, it's ripping off a lot of people is the way it kind of felt, because it's something that people can make themselves that they're paying way too much for. So, you know, that's the whole goal of this, is to teach people how to make it. I love the really inexpensive toys, like some of my the mesh tubing wand toy, like it looks like a rope on the end. I think if you use the dollar store dowel rods that are 8 for $1, and I think it was 20 cents a piece is what they work out to be, with the glue and the mesh tubing. 20 cents. I mean, that's really nice. And you can buy, let's say, $10 worth, and then be able to donate a ton of them to a rescue group. I have a couple different rescue groups that I work with. My favorite, I like working with them. They don't have an open shelter, so it's always hard to be able to get pictures of it. Because, like for my Instagram, I want to be able to document that I do these things. But most of the time, I end up just kind of being quiet about it. Like my big wheel, the last wheel that I did, which I have to say I'm so very proud of, even though that's probably where the most hate comes from right now. I am not getting any video of it, and it's because it went to someone's house. The rescue group that I wanted to donate to has a ton of kittens that come through, and young ones, and so I knew it would benefit them, but everyone fosters in their own home, especially right now with Corona going on. A lot of shelters are not actually opening up, and they're keeping all the cats at home and adopting out of their homes. So that's the problem I had, is the person that ended up, one, being able to fit it in their car, because the first person that wanted it had a Mini Cooper, and it's 4 feet wide. And let me tell you, a Mini Cooper is 4 feet wide, including its whole body. So she wasn't able to get it home. Since it is made out of foam board, you don't want to strap that bad boy to the roof of the car. So yeah, I'm not going to demand someone I don't know to let me come take a video or for them to take video. I'm okay just saying, okay, have fun with it. They tell me it works, and that's what I'm going to go with. Even though I get a ton of hate for not having any video of it. I tried to get video of my own cat. I held a piece of chicken up and she kind of walked, and then she sat down and licked her butt. And my husband was sick as a dog that night and was trying to film it with me, and it was just not worth it. Do you know what a grumpy, sick husband with a headache is like? That's nauseous. It's just, you go do your own thing. I love you, honey. But, so yeah, so thank you again for loving my ideas. Let's see what else we have on here. So yes, be looking for more cat trees. I want to make a gigantic one. And I want to see how tall you can really make it without falling over. Because the one I have that is on my website, which I have to say, I think tonight, if not early in the morning, will hit 19,000 views. As a small channel, 19,000 is just an incredible number for a video to hit. And then my very first wheel is at 10,000, almost 11,000 now. So thank you all. I love y'all. So yeah, I want to go bigger and better. I want to do a new catio that will go out my window because I'm having problems. I have 3 cats. 2 of them try to get on the catio at once. It holds up just fine. That's not a problem. But there's not a lot of room. And yes, it makes for some very cute snuggling pictures. If you've seen my Instagram, you've seen pictures of them half hanging out the cat door of it. I only noticed that the door wasn't open, or was half open, because it's in Georgia in the United States, and it's 90 something degrees here right now. So I could feel the heat wafting in through the air conditioning. And I look over and I see feet hanging through the door, and look through, and there's a cute little cuddle session going on. But I do have 3 cats that fight over who gets to be outside, because only 2 of my cats will actually cuddle together. Most of the time it's a single-use type toy. So I want to make an even bigger and better one. Maybe it would be neat to have one that you can put your litter box in. That way the kitty cat can not stink up your house. I have it in my bedroom. That's a lovely smell to wake up to sometimes. I'm sure we all have that problem. And let's see. Since when have I been a cat lover? Well, I guess my entire life. I've always been an animal lover. Cats specifically. My mom was a cat lady. My first kitty cat was Yin. They got her, I think I was 3. I vaguely remember going to the church down in the basement and picking Yin out. She was Siamese. Can you tell by the name? And yeah, I've always had cats, mainly tiger stripes. I've never had an orange kitty. That would be kind of neat as the next cat. I thought I was going to be a veterinarian in my mid-teens. I was a horseback rider, so I wanted to be an equine vet until I hung out with the equine vet for a few visits. And then I realized that they got crap beat out of them. And they're always on call 24 hours a day. So I changed my mind on that one and started pursuing small animal. I had some medical issues going into sophomore year in college. I was pre-vet and I had to drop out due to them. And I was already a vet tech. I started working in a vet clinic. I volunteered when I was 15. On my 16th birthday, they signed the contract with me to hire me. So my birthday is my work anniversary. Right now I'm at 20 years since becoming an official employee of the vet clinic. And yes, I worked kennel for a while, and I moved myself up through my teens into actually becoming a tech. And then in Georgia, they started changing the laws about, I know this is a long story about being a cat lover, but in Georgia, they started changing the laws on what vet techs could do. You actually had to be registered to do a lot of things. So people that were calling themselves vet techs are now really glorified pet holders. You can't do dentistry. You can't do just a lot of things like IM injections. A doctor has to be hovering over you for basically everything if you're not certified in Georgia. And because I already had experience, they let me take the vet tech test. And I passed. I got really lucky. I think they ran it for 7 years, where you could do what they call the grandfather clause to be able to take the test based on experience. Every 6 months they did it for 7 years, and only 150 people passed. I mean, that's not much. It's a hard test, and I passed, so I can't complain. So I am a registered vet tech, and I started realizing in clinics that cats were kind of the bastard child, and kept getting in trouble for speaking my mind about shoving cats in cat bags, and some of the way they were handled. And then I found a cat only clinic, and it was like the best thing I had ever seen. And I went to work there and met some really wonderful people. Realized I didn't know as much about cats as I thought I did. And yeah, so I ended up working for a cat toy company with my knowledge of cats. It's a veterinary-based cat toy company, so kind of like from the safety point of view. And that is how this came about. That love of cats that came from my mom just kind of kept mutating. So yeah, I'm that special cat lady that has way too many cat items, and I pass it along to my daughter. Every school picture, she has a cat shirt on or a cat dress or cat ears. Her backpack that she's already picked out has cats. Everything has cats or unicorns, basically. My 4 or 5-year-old son, his favorite game is to pretend he's a kitty cat, and my daughter is the owner, and she brushes him and stuff like that. Yeah, it's special. Watching your son walk around on all fours meowing, and when your daughter gets mad at you, she hisses at you. There's certain things you question about life, like your daughter hissing. You know, it's the little things. Let's see. Congrats on my test. Well, thank you. Have a male kitten, a 4-year-old female cat. Do I have any ideas on how to get them to get along? Time. Sorry. There's, they just have to get used to each other, and that may not happen. Some cats just don't care for other cats. Some cats just don't care for kittens because they're rambunctious and hyper and like to do those little annoying like attack modes. But the wrestling and the playing, and sometimes not so playing of wrestling, does need to happen. I know the tendency is to kind of break it up, but it helps establish a hierarchy. People get really nervous when they see little clumps of fur come off. As long as there's not blood, you're good. So, you know, just... Ooh, I hear my husband's home. I'm so ADD too. But, yeah, just give them time. It's something I keep seeing on, like, Facebook and my Instagram. People trying to give kittens catnip. The receptors for catnip, and granted, kittens may like it just because it tastes good, but the receptors for catnip don't actually develop until maturity. So typically around a year of age, sometimes a little later, sometimes a little earlier, just depending on the cat. So I had seen a suggestion a while back about your situation and giving them catnip to kind of get them stoned and that they would bond together. Yeah, well, the kitten does not notice the catnip. So that was a little pointless. And again, I try not to argue with people on Facebook. You know, keep the nice thoughts out and the bad ones in the head. But, you know, not everyone's a vet tech. Not everyone knows some of the science behind it. I do like to read a lot of studies, especially of different types of cat attractants, how they work, the fact that silvervine, 79% of cats are attracted to, yet catnip just only half. like the weird little stats. So, yeah, I forgot where that rant was going. This is my life. Now I get why people say that I remind them of Kitty from that 70s show. It makes sense, doesn't it? Let's see. Oh, I don't have my glasses on because I liked my eyeshadow today. And I actually can't read very well without glasses. So don't mind me when I get too close to the camera. I'm special. Ugh. Instagram's getting a really good neck shot too. What about wheatgrass? Ooh, I can talk on this subject a lot. I love catgrass. The company I used to work with for a while, we sold catgrass until the FDA stepped in, and that was a whole... Did you know FDA regulates seeds for catgrass? I mean, and you have to have a license for it, by the way. But wheatgrass, very good for cats. Most cats kind of like a little bit of a variety of grass. There are a couple companies out there that you can look for that they do a mixture of grass seeds. So oat, rye, wheat, and barley. Those are the 4 that you want to look for. Either a combination of 2 of them or all 4 of them. But it just has some different benefits when it comes to different textures, different sweetnesses for the cats. And they kind of grow at a little bit different of rate. I mean, they grow pretty much the same overall in height. But cat grass is really good because you can 1 week start a new batch on let's say a Sunday. Then the next Sunday start a new batch and give them the grass that you grew over the week. That nice tender grass, especially the wheat grass, because wheat, if it grows too long, it becomes, you can cut your finger with it. It's very sharp. When you give cats young tender grass, that's the stuff that is actually medically beneficial for them. It helps move hairballs through. It helps with digestion. It can even help with some of the bacteria in the mouth and the gut system. So young tender grass is a great thing. Wheatgrass, which is typically what you see like at the pet store that's already been growing, people will give it to their cats and then they say, oh, my cat won't eat that. Well, would you want to eat the dry, tough stuff that is giving you a paper cut on your tongue as you eat it? Or when you do eat it, it's so rough on your stomach that you throw it back up? I mean, if you think about it, when a dog goes outside, most of the time they get that really tall bush of grass, and that's when you see them throw it back up. They don't throw the tender, young stuff up. It's the stuff that's been growing for a long time. Let's see, how do you know when to understand if your cat's being ill? Typically, if you're wondering to yourself if your cat's acting strange, they probably are. Cats hide a lot of what their issues are. It's very uncommon. I mean, granted, it does happen that a cat will just come and pee on you if it has a urinary tract infection, let's say. But most of the time, they're peeing in odd places that you just happen to find it, or they're peeing in the litter box and just covering it up, and you might hear a little whine or a whimper sound come out of the litter box. They don't openly tell us when they're sick. So, if you have that thought of, I think something's off, it's probably a good idea just to get them a checkup. Right now it's a little bit odd going to the vet. A lot of vets are making you stay outside while they take your pet inside. So I know, and they're backed up because this is taking so much longer for them. They can't do appointments every 15 minutes. They have to spread them out to every 30 minutes. And therefore, people just aren't able to get in. So I know that can make it a little bit more difficult. If you have a senior cat, let's say 7 or older, and you think they're just acting strange, just get them blood work. That is the best thing you can do. There's so many diseases that are pretty much silent until they're way out of control in the body. Kidney disease. You're not going to know that your cat has kidney disease for a long time. The kidneys have to be 50% of the way non-functioning. So you can have both kidneys are starting to fail, but they're right above that 50% line, we'll say, and blood work may barely even show that, or like you may not even spot it visibly. Your cat could be acting exactly the same, but they could be in kidney failure. So it's just little things like that. As they get older, it's kidney disease, diabetes, and thyroid. Those are going to be your 3 enemies. And typically when you fix one of those problems, it's going to trigger one of the others. So let's say you fix the diabetes, then all of a sudden the kidneys will start to fail, because they've been overcompensating all this time. Once you get one part fixed, the rest of the body's like, oh, I can take a little break. So in kitty cats, it's a little bit of a cycle. So definitely if they're acting strange, get them checked out. I'm trying to think. In younger cats, the acting strange, I always immediately think something like a urinary tract infection, because they're just really good at hiding that type of thing. Myself, I'm kind of curious about that new litter out that shows you the different pHs and the blood. I haven't priced it yet, but I'm kind of curious about it. I haven't yet really gotten it because I have dogs that like to get into the litter box. And I prefer more of a clay litter at the moment, even though I don't like the chemicals in it either. But just in case my dogs do eat it, at the moment, I know that they don't have reactions to this litter. So it's okay. Having little kids, they leave the baby gate open to my bedroom and let the dogs have a free-for-all. Kitty biscuits. But yeah, back to that same topic. Just anytime you have that inkling, it's just a good idea to get them checked out. What else do we have? Can I start testing cat toys? I've been wanting to. At the moment, because of Corona, I don't have a job. So I love the fact that I make inexpensive cat toys, or like this litter box for handicapped kitties with a ramp, $5. That's not going to break my bank. By the way, Georgia unemployment, if you could actually, work, come through, do something, that would also help. But I do want to start testing out toys. I've been thinking about maybe going to the pet store and walking around and kind of doing a comparison of, do I like this toy? Yes, no, why? I've helped do surgery over the past 20 years, removing some of the weirdest stuff. The most common thing is strings and hair ties. So just no strings, no hair ties, don't give them to your cat. Because as soon as you turn around, they're going to get stuck on the little burrs of their tongue, and it's going to help be able to feed it down into their throat, and it disappears, and you forget about it until your cat has to have surgery. I have seen some of the craziest things between cats and dogs. Just think about what you're giving them. Is it going to be safe? If they chew a piece off, what's going to happen? Let's see. Thank you very, very much. I also love your cats. Oh, I do have, I don't know if I have any videos with my third cat. He kind of is one of those semi-ferals, hides underneath the bed type. But I do have 3 kitty cats. They are definitely different personalities. The main one that you see is my newest one. She's a little over a year and a half old now. We just actually hit, a week ago, we hit our year anniversary of adopting her. And she was probably close to 6 months old when we adopted her. We were told she was little. She wasn't. And then she kept growing and growing and growing. So that kitty, the one that you always see on my Instagram, the calico, that is Cindy Pawford because of her black mole. Then I have Kitty, which is my black and white, or not black and white, gray and white. She's my old lady. She's 14. And then the one that I was talking about that hides under the bed, Donnie. God, he's 9. And he was diagnosed with congestive heart failure back when he was 4. So we don't do a whole lot of running him around. He's scared of my husband and life in general, actually. So I think he was one of the ones that was cuddling on the catio. And if you ever saw that picture of the multiple cats getting some air. But yeah, that's my 3 kitty cats. Definitely follow me on Instagram if you want to see like the real life use of the toys, because I always give the toys to my cats. Well, I take that back. The scratchers, that are like Yoda and stuff like that. I can actually see them and stare at them. That's why I'm saying this. I don't give to my cats. I was going to. And then I loved Baby Yoda so much, I couldn't bear to. So besides my Deadpool, Baby Yoda, Groot, and Minion cat scratchers, everything else does go to my cats. I do post pictures of it on Facebook and Instagram. I only about 2 or 3 weeks ago really started using my Instagram, so I'm trying to get better at it. I'm starting to like it. And you get to see more of the personality of my cats and a little bit of my kids, the dogs, you know, what it's like. So this is technically a job. I mean, I do take a day to film, depending on how big of a project, or like the castle. Oh my God, that castle took 2 days, and then an entire full day to edit. So that was 3 days. So I was also during that homeschooling. Yay, send the kids home, make parents homeschool. But, so, you know, this is kind of a full-time job, and I'm just really enjoying it. Hopefully I really can make this into a full-time job. So spread the word if you can. I mean, I hate to sound like a beggar, but I am 19 subs last I checked. I can't see now, but 19 subs away from hitting my 1,000 on YouTube. And if you don't know, you do have to have some watch time built up too, but you have to have 1,000 subscribers to start getting monetized on YouTube. My husband's been monetized for like 9 months now, so trust me when I say it's only pennies at first. He's close to like 10,000 subscribers. Yeah, so we'll see. He's probably watching this because he was watching on Instagram and mad at me. But let's see what some of the other questions are. So, I see one of the comments is that they named their cat Neko, which is actually cat in Japanese. And I took Japanese for 6 years. Watashi wa kiri desu. Okay, it was a couple decades ago. Bear with me. But yeah, I still know a little bit of Japanese. I mean, 6 years of it, you get some stuck in your head. But I can eat like a champ when it comes to Japanese food. How did we name our cats? Donnie happened to be in the cat clinic at the same time as a Mark and oh gosh, I can't remember the other name. It was another one of the new kids. Well, I know Marky Mark's not a new kid, but you get it. It was kind of a new kid on the block theme day. And he came in and he was just the most pitiful little 6-week-old little kitten with this itty bitty chin and really big eyes that kept staring at you. And he looked like Don Knotts, you know, the old comedian. His poor little head and eyes never quite grew after that. He's kind of permanently stuck in that teenage body. He's got really stubby legs, a long body, big eyes, no chin. Big ears. So he looked like Don Knotts, and we had a whole bunch of cats in that had the same name as the new kids on the block. So he just fit right in. And yes, you can tell how old I am by talking about new kids. And let's see, Kitty was my husband's cat when I came along. She had some really bad name. It was like Squeakers or something like that. That he didn't even call her anyways. He always just said Kitty. So Kitty stuck when I came along. So he's real creative with names, by the way. And then Cindy, again, Cindy Crawford, you know. She's got a black mole on her upper whisker area. So, and she's very posh and just long legs and quite the little supermodel. She's 17.5 pounds. She is. And granted, she's a little fluffy. Like, body score, she's a little overweight, we'll say. But she's not obese. And she's 17.5 pounds. She's just so darn long. When she stretches out on the floor next to the other cats, she has probably close to 8 inches in length on the other cats when she's stretched out next to them. So quite impressive at her size. So yeah, that's how my kitties got their names. Let's see. Is there a difference between calico cats and tortoiseshell cats? Because she had a tortoiseshell, but thought it looked like a calico. Well, calico, the way I was taught, and it's kind of one of those open for interpretation things. Calico just means 3 colors, at least. Any cat with 3 colors is genetically most likely female. There is the rare chance of it being male. If it is, you do have to be careful that there's going to be some other genetic complications as they get older, because something's just not going to be right about them. They're either going to get kidney failure early, end up having something else odd to them, make them more genetically predisposed to issues, basically. Tortoiseshell is, again, one that, like, I worked in a clinic that wouldn't use that as a description. They just said, you know, tricolor, calico, but I don't know what the vet's problem was. But torty to me means that they're a calico, but they have a striping in their pattern. I don't know if that's how you interpret your cat too. So that's kind of how that it is. So you can be a tortoiseshell, which makes you a calico, but a calico is not necessarily a tortoiseshell, I guess. Let's see. Oh, there was a word limit. Okay, let's see. Oh, thank you, BC Treasure Trails. Yes, it shows some support. Hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, for the love of God, subscribe today. I really want to hit that 1,000 mark today. I think it would just be the best way to be able to hit my 1-year anniversary in style with hitting 1,000 subs. Later today, I will be hitting 19,000 views on one of my videos, and 11,000 on another one. So, you know, I say go big or go home. What else do we have here? My eyes, I'm going blind. What do I suggest for cat exercising to help them? One is way too big. Indoor cat, kind of shy, kind of lazy. Well, every cat is going to kind of have their favorite toy that they lean towards, whether it be a crinkle sound, kind of a rustly sound. I like toys that make a noise. But, you know, not all cats necessarily want that. My scaredy cat, if it makes a noise, he thinks it's going to eat him. It's just how he is. So he likes the more quiet toys. Anything of mine that rattles is going to definitely take his foot off. You know, it's that type of mentality for him. For cats that you really want to get them up and moving, I'm pretty sure the last thing I heard veterinary-wise is that ideal was to play with your cat at least 2 times a day, but no longer than 5 minutes. I mean, when they hunt, they get bored after 5 minutes. If they don't catch that rat or bird in 5 minutes, they probably give up and go on to something else. So don't make your sessions too long. And definitely let them be able to catch the item. A lot of people like the idea of having a treat when you're done and putting, you know, running the, whether it be like a laser light or the toy itself on top of the treat and letting them be able to catch and eat as their reward. And excuse me, that signifies to them that they finally caught and did what they were supposed to and that they're done. So giving them that treat at the end is kind of like the signal that we're done playing for now. But wand toys are my favorite to get a cat up and moving. There's lots of different attachments. I have a bug toy. If you like the cat toys that are quiet and that they have to do that slow stalking, definitely go for the bug toy. That one just drives my cats nuts. It's just that little movement, and it's kind of like if you've ever been fishing. You don't want to throw it out there and hit the fish because, you know, they get startled. You want to throw the toy out there near them and then slowly start bringing it back towards yourself. The slower the better, with little jerks in between that kind of get the cat's attention and makes them want to pounce. There's a lot that's going on that you can find, like Jackson Galaxy just did a thing that he released, and some of the other pet gurus out there are making sure that you're playing with wand toys correctly. Don't put the toy right here. A cat, yeah, they might swat at it, but this isn't fun. Do you really want to be hit in the head? So, you know, it's all about how you play, getting them more interested. Cats love to stalk, so that's usually the best thing. My bigger girl, Cindy, she loves toys that make the fluttering sound. So my paper toys or the whirly bird that I did in my last live, oh goodness, the sound that thing makes going through the air, that whoosh sound, that flutter, kind of like feathers of the bird, you know, taking off. That sound is just instant eye dilation. She can go from being completely asleep to up and in attack mode in seconds. So, you know, every cat plays differently for sure. I mean, Cindy's also a fetcher. I can just sit on the couch and keep throwing and she brings it back. But wand toys, if you're going to try to get them moving, go for a wand toy. That way you know that, one, they're not swallowing any parts of it. You're watching them with it. And two, you can control how much they actually get to hold on to the toy and chew on it. So it's a good safety too. Let's see. Yes, I know I'm blind. Do I think Torties have tortitude? Yes. Especially if it has any bit of red to it anywhere. Calicos really are spunky. I also believe if it's a cat, like if I were out of that clinic and I see that it's a calico, and then I see it has some sweet name like Angel or Baby or Honey, it's evil. I've been chased literally around in the exam room trying to use a towel to stop a cat from trying to climb up my leg and eat me, because it was trying to. It couldn't decide if it wanted me or the vet more, and luckily the vet was closer. So, yes, torties and calicos, just, I mean, maybe it's a girl thing. I don't know. But I have a theory that if there's any red in it, they're going to be a little bit spunkier. I mean, my Cindy's really sweet, but you piss her off and she will bite you. My husband knows this. What else? Would you recommend getting a quarantine kitty? Not sure because the vets aren't open. Is there an injection that stops them from having babies? Not an injection, just the spay and neuter. Right now they're still doing spays and neuters. As far as I know, in every state it's opened back up, because it's kind of a CDC guideline that those type of surgeries can go on. The first 4 weeks, I think, they did discontinue spays and neuters, which I didn't like. But if you're going to get a quarantine kitty, maybe look for one that comes from a rescue group that they've already come with you know, at least a couple sets of vaccines. Most won't get them out unless they've had at least 2 sets of vaccines and been spayed or neutered. That way you don't have to worry about them being fixed. And at most you might have to try to get into the vet for 1 booster. Maybe 2 boosters, I mean. But like Cindy, I think she had to go back twice. Just because, no, yeah, twice. Oh, look, my live video ended on Instagram. I'm done with it anyways. But yeah, I think when I adopted Cindy, even though she was 6 months old, we still ended up doing 2 boosters just because she had only had 1 vaccine when I adopted her. And for a good immunity, you need, they say for an adult cat, at least 2 vaccines. 3 is preferable when they're teenagers to most vets. Of course, every vet is different. So, you know, you might have to get your cat in for a quick booster, and like a rabies vaccine. But, you know, adopt them when they're already fixed. I know there's a lot of what's too young and what's too old. Do you want their hormones to actually start going? There's so much controversy on that. You know, being from the vet side of things, I know that if they have any hormones start for females, that it puts them at a greater risk of having mammary cancer in the future. So if they have any of those adult hormones start to go, it can set them up later. So that's why the earlier the better. But there's also research saying that their muscles don't develop properly without that hormone surge, especially in male cats. So you're going to have some other issues as they get older because they don't have proper muscle development. So do what you want to do. Just get them fixed. That's the most important thing. That's how I feel about it. Oh, a lot of comments. I'm falling behind. Let's see. You're really making me have answers. Everyone who's watching should subscribe because I have. Well, good. I'm glad you have. And if you have any suggestions on toys you want to see, definitely let me know. I mean, this beautiful baby right behind me, this is a litter box for handicapped kitties that can't step over lips or edges of things. This would also be good for senior cats. It has a tray down below that you can put pee pad under, and it has holes in the top for the pee to be able to drain through, and then you put like a crystal or a pellet litter on top. And yes, it can come down the edge, but the main stuff gets caught. But it's just good for the handicapped kitties, and that was something I actually saw on Kitten Lady's Instagram. She was looking for ideas for litter boxes, and I was like, oh, let me help. So hopefully she sees this. I'm going to be editing the video probably starting tonight and then into tomorrow and launching it on Friday. So I'll probably launch a day early than I normally do. If it's a really good toy, I get a little anxious. And I launch on Fridays. Most of the time I try to wait till Saturdays to launch because that's what my thing says is on the weekends. If you ever look at my header banner, that I post every weekend. Friday's weekend too, I guess. So, but yeah, I love suggestions. I like hearing that I have an issue with such and such. Is there a way to help? I know it's not a cat toy, but it's for kitty cats. So it counts, right? And let's see. How to train out bad habits from barn cats. Oh, okay. So Neko was a barn kitten, I'm assuming, and probably a little bit more personality, a little bit more dominance to him, is what I'm guessing after knowing my own barn kitties. That's when you look at my YouTube, go into the About section, and my email is there. Anyone is welcome to ever send me questions. If it's something that medically the vet needs to look at, I'm going to tell you. I'm not truly going to give medical advice. I like my license. I don't want to lose it. I worked very hard to get that license. Like I said, in 7 years, only 150 of us passed that test in Georgia. And that's not including the people that went to school. That's the people that had previous experience when they were making a true license for vet tech. So yeah, I want to keep it. So I can't answer medical questions, but I definitely can answer just the random questions, toy questions, personality questions. I do have a lot of friends that are kitty cat behaviorists. So if it's something that's above me, I am not afraid to be like, hey, check this person out. Chirps and chatter. That's great behaviorist. Wait. Let's see if I can unwedge my iPad. I can pull her up real quick. Let's see. Okay. Isn't this fun for you to watch? I mean, really. Let's see. Whoa, I'm not used to Facebook on, Okay, let's see. If you can see here, this person is an awesome kitty cat behaviorist. She does do phone consults, chirrups and chatter, I guess you would call it. She is one of the best behaviorists I have come across. Great personality in herself, and just the knowledge is just, I'm a little jealous. I'll admit it. No shame. But she can definitely help if it's something that's above my common vet tech knowledge. So let's see. People training their cats to use the toilet versus the litter box. Yeah. So I've seen a lot of people that have trained them to actually go in the box or in the toilet. But trying to teach a cat to do the flush part is another thing in itself, it seems like. I would never do it just because I know what cat poop smells like when wet. And it floating in the bowl until someone comes along to flush it. I can't imagine the smell. It would just perfume everything. So if you think you have a cat that you could teach to actually flush, yeah, that would be great. I do have to warn that if you have any type of automatic flusher, if you have a fancy toilet, be careful, because if it goes off with your cat on the toilet, you may never see that cat again in the bathroom. I had a similar situation happen with an automatic cat box. That's why I know that my husband loves me. The week I moved in with him, apparently with the extra use of one more kitty, because I had two, he had one, the automatic box that I had at the time tried to I'm assuming, scoop my cat while he was in it. And he became scared of the litter box. Like, have you ever seen what happens when you try to dunk a cat in water? Normal cats. And they like do that whole put their paws out everywhere and claw anything they can. That was him if you got him near any litter box, a regular litter box or the automatic. It did not matter. It was going to swallow him whole. So the way we found this out was my husband's brand new couch, which he got the same week that I moved in. my cat started using as a litter box, poop and pee. And that's why I know he really, really did like me, because it was a 3-day-old couch that was covered in piss. So be careful when there's anything automatic with kitty cats. Bible vlog says exactly, I'm assuming, to the smell of the poop in the water. Yeah. So yeah, any other questions? I've been on here for a while. I've been talking everyone's ear off. We'll see. Happy 1 year to me. Ooh. Don't mind me. I get way too excited sometimes. And I'm one of those people that even if there was no one here to interact with, I can talk to a brick wall. So I could be talking to myself and perfectly happy with it. When I used to do retail events with the cat toys, we would do things like CatCon and Pop Cats and Jackson Galaxy's cat events and Snowcat and all these fun events. And I was always the one at the booth, and I loved it. I have no shame. I can talk to anyone. I am not afraid to throw a cat toy at someone to get their attention. Yeah, and I met some of the best people there. That's one thing I do want to start doing soon, is featuring some of the cat items I have. If you ever see in my videos, if I'm wearing most of my shirts or cat shirts, they are from my friends. I have Pride shirts that are from my favorite rescue group. Then I have cats playing the flute. Just lots of different ones. And I want to start being able to feature these items, make sure that you guys know. Oh, my mug, if you ever see my mug in some of my live stuff, or if my Instagram posts, like my David Meowie, David Bowie, it's the cutest thing ever. You know, I want to be able to feature these guys. And there's a new necklace that I really want that's made with kitty cat whiskers, and I can actually get it to where it matches my cat's eyes. Sorry. I get a little excited over it. But yeah, so I want to start showing you all these things and cute prints, like artwork prints. So I think that's something I am going to do soon, is start featuring, maybe through my Instagram, I can start featuring every couple weeks a new either artist or something cat related. Some of my people that I've met through all these cat events, like if you've ever seen one of my first videos, that was the last Christmas in July, the Christmas kitten book that I featured and I made a little toy of. There is a new toy to come, but at Christmas time this year. I already have it planned out. I'm so excited. The Christmas kitten, I love the author. It's Jessica Spawn, by the way. On Amazon is where you can get the book. It is my daughter's favorite book. I mean, she slept with the book under her pillow. She dressed up as the kitten for Halloween at school. Yeah, I had to make an entire kitten jumpsuit. It was great. So yeah, I do like the suggestion of trying out other cat toys. I do have to be a little careful because I don't want people to think that I'm going to rip them off and just teach people how to make their same toy for cheaper, which I probably can. That's the problem. But I think featuring artists that are really cool would be a nice addition. You know, like I know just a lot of people in the cat world that have the most amazing things, so I might as well share. My YouTube hasn't updated on this end. It still says I'm 19 away, unless no one's subscribed yet. 19 away from 1,000. You know you want to share this. Share. Okay, let me see what everyone's written. What are my favorite animals? Cats, hamsters, and dogs. LD Shadow Girl. Well, of course, cats. I have a crazy cat obsession. I love turtles. I used to have a turtle named Doorstop. When I was a kid, he was an eastern box turtle. He was found with a cracked shell, and being the little kid that I was, we took the turtle with the crack down the middle of the shell to the vet, and they did a cast on the top of the shell, and we left it there for a couple months, and then we soaked it off, and everything was healed. And I probably kept him about a full year, but when he started getting really mating season-y, like he kept going towards the same direction in my house or in my bedroom, because I newspaper trained him. It took a long time, but he only went on the piece of newspaper. That dedication right there. I could tell his instincts were telling him he really needed to just keep going and to find a mate, or just to migrate. So I felt bad, and we ended up releasing him. We had a gigantic creek on our property. So I released him at the back of the property where it was safe and no road. So yeah, so I'm a cat, turtle, horse. I used to do eventing, like jumping and all that goodness, and dogs. I have 2 dogs of my own. You'll see them, or their fur on me. Like my Instagram, you'll see a lot of my goofy husky. She loves to sleep upside down, belly up, feet out. And for some reason, Cindy, we actually caught my cat laying next to the dog, who she hates, by the way. Belly up, feet up, same position next to the dog this week. I don't know what's going on. And then she realized the dog was there and attacked him. That's my house. And yeah, so the only animal I don't care for, snakes. And just because of, I can draw blood on a snake. I can do that. I can restrain them for work. I worked at an exotics clinic for a while. And I played with them all the time as a kid. But if I'm going to choose my least favorite, snake. The bigger, the worse. I don't care if it's harmless. Little, that's fine. It's cute. It's like a worm. Don't like big snakes. And yeah, so I love animals. I was that kid that had everything. I had the chipmunk that the cat attacked at the horse barn. I had a pigeon that fell out of the nest as it was hatching out of its egg at the barn. Fell all the way down from the riding arena. It still had eggs stuck to it. And yeah, I had her until she died. She used to do a mating dance to my cats. She was a little confused. Let's see. You have a hedgehog. Sorry, trying to read. Blonde. Blurry. My 100-pound dog. Yeah, so in this state, last I heard, hedgehogs are actually illegal. My husband wants one so bad. You have to have a special license to have one. And he jokes around about, well, I'll just, go to, I think it's Alabama is the closest that you can have one, and get one. I was like, yeah, the way my license reads, if I'm ever caught with like a hedgehog, I lose my vet tech license. And I'm like, it's not worth it. I've now had that license for over a decade. And granted, I don't work in a traditional clinic anymore. But I still use my license for work, even though it's my work. I help train human doctors how to use medical equipment. but my license still gets me paid more. So I need to keep that license because they, you know, the more certificates and license and bachelors you have, the better. I'd like to keep it that way. But yeah, hedgehogs are really cute. And I hear they really, you know, get along with any of the pets that you have. There's not like, unless your cat's trying to eat the hedgehog, that could be an issue. Oh, yeah, sorry. Trying to read. You know, maybe one of these times I will get my glasses and be able to read at a distance. That might help, huh? Let's see. Oh, look. YouTube says I'm live, and it has a horrible little thumbnail of me going. Oh, he grew up with kittens. Then, yeah, he shouldn't have a problem with them. As long as, you know, the cat doesn't think he looks tasty. Even though he's a little bit dangerous. They're not like porcupines, if I remember right. Because, you know, I don't actually get to play with them here in Georgia. They don't shoot their spines, but they can still be pokey. Yeah, that tech test was a long time ago. Alright. So let's see. Any other questions before I say goodbye for the day? Any suggestions on things you want me to build? I'd love to hear it. I do try to mix it up. This week was supposed to be a nice, simple, easy, like 2-minute toy. Granted, it got kicked to the back burner, so I could do this after hearing that it was needed for a kitten. But, you know, I'm trying not to do all big stuff because, one, it breaks the bank. And two, you know, my channel is for people to be able to make the little things for their cats, make big things. So I'm trying not to do all big cat furniture, which right now I really could do. So I have so many ideas for cat furniture, it's crazy. And I don't think any of the cat furniture would be over $15 at most, and that would be for something that's giant. Oh, wait. I take that back. My big catio that I want to make, it's going to be the size of 2 windows. It's going to be huge. That, because it's going to be outside and I don't want my cats to die falling out the window, it will be larger and more expensive. But besides that, the typical stuff that's inside, not expensive at all. I kind of want to do some more of my creative cat scratchers, even though seems like people may not be so interested in them. I mean, I get a few views here and there, but like my minion cat scratcher, for the longest time it was at like 30 views. I'm like, okay, maybe that's telling me that people don't want to see characters made into cat scratchers. Even though Baby Yoda is the stinking cutest thing ever. And I like my Deadpool. And Groot has buns. So yeah, I like them. Let's see. Do I like feathers? No. None of my toys have feathers. The reason is, if you watch a cat with any toy with feathers, the first thing they do, get a hold of it, bite it, and try to rip the feathers out and spit them away. Cats, if they get a bird, the thing they want to do is pull the feathers off so they can eat what's underneath. They don't play with the feathers. Cats have no interest in the feathers except to yank them off the bird. Yes, the smell and the look of it attracts a cat to a toy, but they don't really want to be chomping down on it. They want to spit the feathers out and actually get the good stuff. So at the moment I'm still kind of stuck on no feathers. I might change my mind at some point I might decide that there's a good feather toy that I want to show you how to make a whole lot cheaper. I would never do that. But yeah, at the moment, no feathers. I mean, I have a thought in my head about a toy that you can purposely pull the feathers out of, so you can like refill it essentially. But yeah, that's about it. Certain things I am basing right now around what I can get a hold of. Some stores are running out of things because of the situation of the world. But I'm dealing with the fact that my local craft store is moving. They're moving right down the street, but for the last 2 months, they have been having "we're moving" sales and not stocking their store. The last time I went in, it was a good sale if you like fleece. There was probably an eighth of what they normally have in the store. And then nothing but fleece. You couldn't find any other fabric besides fleece. I wanted pleather. That's all I wanted. I wanted batting and pleather, like polyfill or some type of batting, because I wanted to be able to show for my last A-frame little fold-up cat scratcher. I wanted to be able to show you all how to make lots of different other scratchers. I couldn't find any of the materials at my store, and I was not going to drive into Atlanta. If you all know what's going on in the city of Atlanta right now, it's not necessarily the safest place to be, especially the area that the craft store is at. So I'm going to stay in the suburbs and find other stuff. But eventually, the 17th, 2 days from now, is when the new craft store is supposed to open. I can't wait. And when I get a chance to go back in there, I am going to, I'm going to have so many videos to do. But my last video was the cat scratcher that you could change out the scratching parts of it. So I'm going to make a video of nothing but lots of different materials that cats love. So they can be able to scratch on it. In that video, I showed the standard cardboard, and then I showed cork. And I have to say right now, my cat is loving it. I found her big butt. Cindy's 17.5 pounds of love, big, long kitty. She was stuck to it like a push pin, hanging from it, like just the tail dragging on the ground at the bottom. Just and she was trying to kick it with her back feet while her front claws were hooked into it. And she was trying to do the rabbit kick on the bottom. Could not figure out what she was doing. I had plenty of kick pillows for her. I made them out of headbands and socks, with catnip, without catnip, with crinkle toys in them. I have videos of it all. Yeah, she loves the cork. So I highly recommend trying a cork scratcher for your cat. But I want to show people some other textures that cats love that people don't necessarily think about using. And it might save your couch. Okay, let's see. Can I make those window perches? Well, I do have one that you can make out of a box that you actually shut into the window, and I love the comments that I get of, that won't actually hold a cat. Well, if you tape it properly, like I tell you, it holds my 17.5 pound blob of a cat, and the little one that I made when she was a kitten, that's probably a foot wide. She gets all snuggly in it. I have a big one next to it. That's a nice long Amazon box that I made. She doesn't care about it. She wants the nice little cozy one. The really long one, I did have to reinforce the bottom of it after her and the other cat were in it. But that doesn't happen often in this house with those two kitties. So, you know, cardboard box actually holds up in the window if you tape it just right. I have thought about some of the suction cup ones. So, you know, that's probably something I'll be doing in the future, is experimenting with doing the suction cup window perches. And then I have some that may be good for doors that I'll be coming out with. I have so many ideas, and try to pace it all of, one, what I can afford. Two, you know, if I put everything out on YouTube all at once, I'll run out of stuff. So trying to pace myself to once a week. In the beginning, I did do twice a week for like the first month, I think, or 3 weeks. Yeah, I have 55 videos out for my first year. So that meant for 3 weeks I did a video every couple days. But yeah, 55 videos. Can you imagine? Well, 55 toys. More videos than that. But yeah, there will be more window perches coming out. Just give me time. Let's see. Do I like bells on collars for cats? It depends. For outdoor kitties, if you don't want them to actually be able to hunt successfully, yes. My cats are indoor only. I did have a cat that adopted us, that was an indoor-outdoor kitty for a while until she passed. But she'd take her collar off immediately. We could never keep a collar on her. And luckily all the neighbors knew that they could feed her because she was the original stray. But when they wouldn't see her, they knew she was in my house. But yeah, it's really up to you with the bell and the collar. Cindy hates collars. She did that whole get her paw stuck up in it, trying to get it off herself. So even as a kitten, she hated it. She's fine with a harness. No issues with harnesses. Hates collars. So it's up to you. If you want to do a collar, if they're going to be going outside, the best thing to do is a collar, but not all cats will keep them on. And you always want to do a breakaway collar. Hold on. Charge the phone. Let me plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. Okay, there we go. Okay. Something like that. Okay. So, do you want your bird or your cat to be able to hunt? That's the main thing. If you want them to hunt, no bell. How do you know what kind of cat scratchers to make or get for cats? Experiment. That's honestly all you can do. I'd say 9 out of 10 cats, just guessing, I have not read a study on this one, like cardboard. Ooh, there is a study that I read a long time ago. I need to look it up again. Talking about scratchers and materials. Surprisingly, one of the worst scratching ideas. You know how everyone takes that sisal rope and tries to wrap it around something? Least favorite during this study. Cats loved sisal carpet, like the regular carpeting that they can dig their claws into. Sisal rope, they hated. So, yeah, anytime I see that on a video of someone, I made a cat scratcher, and it's all that sisal rope, and I'm going, ugh. But that, or people that make it out of nice plush carpeting, don't do that. You just taught your cat that, hey, it's okay when you're done scratching here to go over to that really plush carpeting that I have over in the corner and start scratching there too. So that's why you have to think about what you want to make your scratchers out of. Like, I know cats love pleather and leather. If I had a pleather couch, I may not let them scratch it or make a scratcher out of it. I don't have a pleather couch, so I know instead of them scratching my regular couch, they're going to want to go to the pleather. It's something that maybe I should make a video out of. My couch is covered in dollar store, only on one little side, dollar store front door carpets. Those little rugs I sewed together to cover the armrest of my gray couch. And it happened to be gray carpeting. So when you first glance at it, you can't tell the difference. But every cat is kind of like us when it comes to food. One person may eat it, but another person won't. Universally, cardboard, that's your best bet. You do have to be careful what type of cardboard. Cats do like, in my opinion, they tend to go for that softer cardboard more. But the downfall to that is that it falls apart quicker. It does shred easier. It can, if it's a spiraled piece of cardboard, it can unspiral easily. Any of that softer can. The really harder cardboards, though, it's given me a paper cut when I've been to these events where I'm able to get hands-on with them. I've gotten paper cuts from them just by checking them out at a convention. Think of how it feels on their pads. I mean, it would make their pads a whole lot rougher. It may actually cut their pads. Yes, it's good because it can really sink their nails into it, but that's not a texture that cats want to go for as much. So the softer cardboard, you do have to replace it a whole lot more, but it's kind of worth it. And yes, you have to pick up pieces of cardboard. Whoop-de-doo. I've had some people complaining on my YouTube that, oh no, I wouldn't want to vacuum up cardboard. So you're going to let your cat go scratch your couch then, because you're not going to give them a cat scratcher, is what they're saying. So, it's that type of thing. Can two cats share a small scratcher? Yes. In my head, I kind of see the same rule that people use for litter boxes. However many cats you have, you want one more litter box. So if you have one cat, you want 2 litter boxes. 3 cats, 4 litter boxes, ideally. And that helps with scent marking, because the way cats mark their scent is either poop, pee, cheeks, or the pads of their feet. So just like with litter boxes, they're going to be leaving smell behind. When they scratch, they're going to be leaving their scent behind. So having their own designated scratcher is a good idea. I mean, when I think about it, my scratcher in my bedroom where the scaredy cat is, he's the only one that uses it. He loves that little speed bump one I made out of the knee pads. Yeah, he's the only one that uses that one once I moved to the bedroom. When it was in the living room, both cats used it. My old lady, she likes the carpet itself, or cat scratchers that are just on the ground. She does not like vertical. Not her thing. So if it's cat scratcher on the ground and cardboard, that's hers. And then any of the tall ones, Cindy always goes for. She loves doing that kitty stretch yoga. So, yeah, I'd say more than one. And putting them anywhere that you notice that they're clawing around the house, like the edge of a piece of furniture. So you could do a thin little scratcher right there. You can do things like the dollar store scratchers that are 4 inches wide. If they're scratching it at a corner of the couch, make a right angle of 2 of the 4-inch wide pieces and just stack it straight up and cover that spot. Give them the cardboard right there. It doesn't take up much room, but you can use double stick tape and just stick it right on. They make the giant double stick tape for that type of stuff. But yeah, anywhere that you see them rubbing their cheeks or clawing, you can put a scratcher, and that's showing you where they want to be able to leave scents. So corners of walls, posts, doors. I have a scratch around my front door. Yes, it's noisy when we come in because it hangs, but the cats like it. And that's them leaving their scent at the front door. Let's see. But definitely think about the things around the house that they do rub on or scratch on, and try to kind of draw inspiration from that. It's kind of the same when it comes to cat toys. You never know exactly what they're going to like until you see them playing with it. So yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. I keep staring at my Yoda's way over there. If you don't know, I film in my garage. I am really lucky my kids listen to me. Our bedrooms are up above the garage, and it's not the most well-built house. So they'll go running across the house, and you'll hear the baby gate to my room open and them running across. Even some peeing going on. It makes filming very interesting sometimes, because I can be having a great little speech that's coming out as I'm making my toy, and it sounds so great. And then in the middle of it, there's a kid. Boom, 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 boom. That ruins it, and I get to refilm it. So if you ever notice weird little skips and breaks, and you're like, what just happened there? That's because I'm trying to splice pieces together and make it make sense for my video, because there's a kid that's screaming that they want mom, or it's lunchtime, I need a snack, I peed myself. Typical mom stuff. Thank goodness diapers are no longer a thing. And my kids are old enough to be in a different room. Let's see. Do I have an opinion on declawing? Oh my God, do I? Don't do it. Don't go to a vet that does it. I know some wonderful vets that have awesome medicine, and they declaw, and it makes me sick. I know that in their heads they're justified by saying, well, I know I'm going to do it better than other people do, so that's why I still offer it. No. It's a horrible thing to do to a cat. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I did it. My kitty that finally passed last year, when she was a kitten, I declawed her. I worked at a vet that there was nothing wrong with it. She was destroying my carpet of my brand new house that I had just built and moved into. We'll say I was a very go-getter of a 20-year-old and thought I should buy a house. But so I thought that was the best thing to do, was to declaw her for the front. I was trying things like covering the area with aluminum foil and double stick tape and doing the sprays and the pheromones, and nothing was helping. I didn't know about soft paws then. I don't even know if soft paws existed at that point. So I declawed her, and probably around age 4, she started limping. Front legs, of course, with it. Then she started hyperextending. So because of declawing, she started overcompensating, and instead of walking on her toes like she should, they were missing, and her whole body, it just, if you've ever seen a German Shepherd that their legs seem to like bend because they're hyperextending, that's what she did. And she would try to be all spunky, even at like, age 8, 9, and jump off the cat tree, chasing after the other cats, playing with them. And she'd jump off and squeak because of the pain, and then she'd start limping around. And, I had seen the limping here and there, and, at the time, we didn't really know about certain medications like gabapentin, nerve medication. It wasn't so commonly used for kitty cats for pain. So I didn't want to give her narcotics every day. And I was giving her Cosequin. It wasn't doing anything. So for a while, she just had to live in pain. And I felt horrible when I realized it was from her declaw. It's, you know, not every cat's going to have issues from it, but it's watching her when she got older. I mean, granted, as she got older, I discovered gabapentin, and that was a miracle. It's super cheap, super easy to give, since you couldn't medicate her typically, but I could put it in food or a pill pocket. And it's a powder, so you can like actually like mush it into pill pockets and dissolve it in there. And there's none of that picking the pill out thing that happens. Loved it. And then another cat that I had, who still to date is probably one of my most favorite cats ever. I only had him 8 months. It was very, very sad before he died. He had the dry form of FIP, and we didn't know it. But he started getting this bubble in his paw when I first adopted him, and he was licking his whole paw, and he was licking his joints going up, both front legs, and usually when they're licking at joints, it's arthritis. He wasn't very old. He was 3, 4 at the time. Yeah, I think he never even made it to his 5th birthday. But when we opened up the big bald spot, it was part of his toe. From the declaw, they left some of the bone in there. There were 2 different pieces of toe that were free floating inside his foot. Yeah, that was gross. So I don't know the vet that did it. It was a whole long story of my mom, who was a crazy cat woman who was a hoarder. She was special. She's no longer with us, so I can say this stuff. But yeah, she had like 19 cats at the time. It was ridiculous. She didn't live in state. I couldn't get a hold of her. But I finally went to visit, fell in love with this cat that had been returned to her after the previous owner only had him for like 6 months and declawed him. He was attached to me. Like, if I'd go to put him down, he'd try to bite at me and hold on. He would sit and he'd roll over. Like, he thought he was a dog. I carry him on my hip like a baby. He was gigantic, kind of like my Cindy. But yeah, he ended up having the dry form of FIP, and had a very miserable end. Granted, we did everything we could to make him comfortable, but it was not a good way to go for a kitty cat. Now, by the way, if you don't know, FIP actually has a cure that they have come up with for kitty cats. So it is not a death sentence anymore. Let's see. What kind of dogs do I have? Well, mutts. I have a husky mix of some sort. Without all her fur, she looks so little. But with her fur, like her tail fur, in the winter, when we let her just completely grow out, it's 8 inches is how long her tail is. It's ridiculous. My vacuums hate me. We go through a lot of them. So she's a husky mix. She just looks like a cute little mini husky. That's what she looks like, about 35 pounds. Then my big girl, that one was Charlotte, and my big girl is Simone. And Simone's mommy was a golden retriever, and it looks like her dad was probably a German shepherd. She's a really dark chocolate. From an angle, some people think she's black, but in the sun, she's just a dark chocolate. More brown than black to me. My husband thinks she's black. You know, we differ. He's colorblind, and a guy, so, you know, we judge color differently anyways. But yeah, so she's 75 pounds, so she's big, and she likes, well, before she got old with her arthritis, she liked to ride on your hip, which was a little difficult. Bad habit to get into. But my dogs are both 12, so they're getting up there. They're pushing it. One's got a heart issue, because that's just how the family rolls here. So she's still kicking. She says cardiomyopathy be damned. And yeah. And then the little husky, she's got her little old lady arthritis. and she gets her CBD cookies. German Shepherd Husky, and a Beagle Pug, and a Boston Terrier. My husband wants a Beagle so he can have that cute little woo bay thing that they do so bad. But I think after these babies go, because 75-pound dog and 12 years old, we're somewhere in the last section of the life, to be honest, especially with a heart issue. Yeah, it'll probably be just kitty cats from now on. I don't think I'm going to miss having to, go walk in the rain or whatnot. And Georgia here, we don't really get snow so much. But man, even at friggin' midnight, if the dogs need to go out, it can be 80 degrees. So yeah, I'm gonna miss, or not miss, having to take dogs for a walk. I'll stick to the litter box. I'm good with that. Alright. Making sure I didn't skip anything. Well, I do want to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed so far. Please, please, please share me out there. The only way for me to be able to grow is for more people to know about me. If you go to my page at the top, I have an intro video that kind of just describes who I am. It's just a quick little 50-second video. That one's great to share out. I do have them on my Facebook page too. I am going to start, I was posting on Facebook the exact same video that I was putting on YouTube every week. And I think I'm going to start mixing it up since I haven't posted as many onto Facebook. I'm going to do some of my older videos on Facebook. That way you're not seeing on both platforms the same video every single week. It gets old, even for me. So I'm going to start mixing things up. And yeah, I've been really happy. I can't believe this is my 1-year anniversary of being Cat Toy Lady. Before I was just the crazy lady. But yeah, I guess this makes 6.5 years of being in the cat toy industry. Because for 5.5 years before this, I did work for a cat toy company. And I am just very pleased with how everything's going. More and more people are starting to learn about my craziness. Hopefully not everyone finds my DIYs as boring as some people's DIYs. They're hard to watch. And I do a lot of, we'll say I might be the handyman of the house. So I do a lot of stuff around the house. And it is crazy what some of the home improvement DIYs and stuff like that, how boring they are. So please let me know if I ever get that boring, because I want to fix that. I don't want to be them. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you all for joining me today. I talked for almost 2 hours. Like I said, I could talk to a wall. Thank you all for joining me. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions of things you want to see, you can always find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or I answer my DMs, my Facebook messages, and even my email. I am cattoylady@gmail.com. Have a great day. Now you can kind of see the sign. Wait. Oh, now go make your cat some toys. Go make your kitty cat some toys. Bye, guys. Oh my God, it won't turn off. Just keep going.